What if I told you that one of basketball's most clutch heroes carried a secret so dark it could shatter everything you thought you knew about him? I'm talking about Dennis Johnson, three-time NBA champion, Finals MVP, the man Magic Johnson feared most. But the truth about DJ? It's not what they want you to believe. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will change how you see basketball legends forever. February 22nd, 2007, Austin, Texas. Dennis Johnson was doing what he loved, coaching young players. At 52, he still had that championship fire burning inside him. Then, in one heartbeat, everything changed. DJ collapsed right there on the court. His players watched in horror as paramedics rushed in. 23 minutes of desperate CPR fighting for every second. But sometimes even legends can't win their final battle. The basketball world mourned a hero that day, but within weeks, something strange started happening. Stories began leaking, dark stories, stories that nobody wanted to talk about. And what came out next? It shocked everyone who thought they knew Dennis Johnson. Picture this, 1997, a quiet suburban home, Dennis Johnson with his family, then something happened that nobody saw coming. Police reports, real documents, not rumors, reveal a night of absolute chaos, a domestic dispute that went way too far. Their own son, Dwayne, had to call 911. The report says DJ grabbed his wife by the throat while holding a knife. Let that sink in for a moment. This is the same man who hit game-winning shots in front of millions, the clutch performer, the champion everyone looked up to. But behind closed doors, a completely different person. Here's the crazy part. Most fans never heard about this. The media buried it. Even after he died, they kept it quiet. Why would they hide something this serious? But wait, it gets even darker. Remember the Phoenix Suns in the 1980s? That talented team everyone loved? They had a dirty secret. 1987, major drug investigation, federal grand jury, multiple players caught up in cocaine scandals. And guess whose name appeared in those sealed court documents? Dennis Johnson. His former teammate Johnny High broke his silence years later, said DJ was named in official testimony, black and white evidence in federal court papers. Now, DJ denied everything, swore he never touched drugs. But here's the thing. When your name shows up in grand jury documents, that's not just gossip anymore. That's legal evidence. But here's what makes this story absolutely insane. Because the Dennis Johnson you saw on TV was genuinely incredible. One of the greatest defensive players ever, a champion who never backed down when it mattered most. Let me take you back to where it all started. 1976, second-round draft pick, making just $45,000 his first year. Peanuts compared to today's rookies. He was riding the bench behind guys named Slick Watts and Fred Brown. Nobody expected anything from this kid. 9.2 points per game. The Seattle Supersonics didn't even make the playoffs. DJ looked like another forgotten draft pick. But sometimes greatness hides in the most unexpected places. Then everything changed with one decision. Seattle hired Lenny Wilkens as coach, and Wilkens saw something nobody else did. He made DJ a starter, paired him with Gus Williams in the backcourt. Suddenly, this bench warmer transformed into a star. 12.7 points per game, powerful dunks that brought crowds to their feet, and defense that made opposing guards have nightmares. The announcer started calling him DJ because there were too many Johnsons on the team. The nickname stuck forever. 1978 NBA Finals, Seattle vs. Washington, Game 3, DJ blocks 7 shots. That's still a finals record for guards. Nobody has beaten it in over 45 years. But then came Game 7, the biggest game of his life, and DJ completely choked. 0 for 14 from the field. 0 for 14. Can you imagine? The most important game ever, and you can't make a single shot. The Sonics lost the championship. DJ was devastated. But here's what separates true champions from everyone else. 1 year later, same finals, same opponent. But this time, DJ was ready for war. 22.6 points per game throughout the series, 32 points in the crucial Game 4 overtime thriller. The Sonics won the championship, and DJ was named Finals MVP. From choking in Game 7 to Finals MVP in 365 days, that's not just a comeback. That's a complete transformation of the soul. The trade that shocked the NBA. But success brings its own problems. DJ started clashing with his coach, egos got involved, politics took over basketball. Seattle traded their Finals MVP to Phoenix for Paul Westphal. Basically, nobody. The result? Seattle's record dropped by 22 wins the next season. 22 wins. They literally threw away their championship core for nothing. Meanwhile, DJ was putting up all-star numbers in Phoenix. 20 points per game, multiple all-star selections, all-NBA honors. But this is where those drug allegations started swirling around. 1983, the Boston Celtics had a problem. They had Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, an unstoppable front court, but they couldn't stop anybody in the backcourt. They needed one thing to become champions again: defense. So Red Auerbach made a move that changed NBA history forever. He traded for Dennis Johnson. 1984 NBA Finals, Celtics versus Lakers, Bird versus Magic. Everyone talks about that legendary rivalry, but the real battle was happening in the backcourt. DJ was absolutely destroying Magic Johnson, forcing turnovers, disrupting the fast break, making the greatest point guard in history look ordinary. Magic couldn't handle DJ's pressure. Game after game, DJ was in his head. The Celtics won in 7 games, and DJ's defense was the difference maker. 1987. Eastern Conference Finals, Celtics versus Pistons. Game 5. Celtics down by 1. 5 seconds left. Bird sees DJ. Makes the pass. DJ catches it. One dribble. Layup. Game winner. Series winner. DJ later called it his favorite play of all time. When you watch that clip, you can see pure basketball poetry in motion. So here's what we know about Dennis Johnson. He was clutch when millions were watching, but allegedly violent when nobody was looking. He denied drug use his entire life, but his name appeared in federal court documents. Larry Bird called him the best teammate ever, but his own son had to call police on him. He won 3 championships and a finals MVP, but died alone on a practice court at 52. How do you make sense of someone this complicated? Look, I'm not here to destroy DJ's legacy. The man could play basketball at the highest level. Nobody can deny that. But here's what this story teaches us about heroes. They're not perfect. They never were. Magic Johnson called him the best defensive guard ever. That's 100% real. Larry Bird said he was the best teammate he ever had. Also completely real. But those police reports from 1997, those are real too. Those grand jury documents, real as well. Dennis Johnson's story is a mirror for all of us. You can be great at what you do and still struggle with who you are. You can hit the biggest shots in basketball history and still make terrible decisions at home. You can be a champion on the court and deeply flawed as a person. That doesn't make the championships less meaningful, but it makes the person more human. When DJ collapsed that day in Austin, he took his secrets with him. We'll never know the complete truth about those domestic violence allegations. We'll never know what really happened in those drug investigations. But we do know this. Dennis Johnson was one of the most clutch players in NBA history. When the game was on the line, he delivered every single time. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's all we need to remember. Because at the end of the day, we're all complicated. We all have our demons. We all have moments we wish we could take back. The difference is, most of us don't have to live with millions of people judging our every move. The next time you watch those old Celtics highlights, remember the story. Remember that heroes aren't perfect. They're just people who happen to be incredibly talented at something. And sometimes, that has to be enough. So what do you think? Was Dennis Johnson a hero despite his flaws, or did the allegations change everything? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one. And if this story opened your eyes like it opened mine, smash that like button and hit subscribe, because I've got more untold NBA stories coming that will absolutely blow your mind. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's next. The next video is about a legend whose secret was even darker than DJ's. See you in the next one.